Hello, Josh Miller here, the creator of a few bookmarklets that are used on Facebook.com, and I've had lots of people asking me questions about how to use them, so I thought I'd make a few videos. The first one I'm going to talk about is called JGrabAllGifts. If you've never used a bookmarklet before, what a bookmarklet is basically a bookmark or a favorite in your browser that instead of taking you to a web page when you click it, it executes script, which is like a little program on the web page that you're viewing. So to get the bookmarklet, you go to my website, which is joshmiller.com/jmwtools.html. If you can't remember that, you can just go to joshmiller.com, and then there's a link here, Josh Miller's Facebook Mafia Wars bookmarklets, and that'll take you there. So there's a couple of things you might want to read through on this page the first time you come here. How do you use bookmarklets? If you've never used them before, click here to read more about them. There's a little bit of a blurb there about bookmarklets. If you scroll down the page, you'll see these links that are in boxes. There's a few of them on the page. I used to have more, but I've abandoned a few because of lack of time and just because they aren't really as useful as they used to be because of changes that Zynga has made in their games. But the JGrabAllGifts is what we're going to talk about here. So to install a bookmarklet, all you do is you drag this link onto your bookmarks bar in your browser, and you'll see it show up there. If you don't have a bookmarks bar, usually, or at least in Google Chrome, you can hit Control-B to either hide or show that bookmarks bar. So, once you have the bookmarklet in your browser's bookmarks bar, you click it. This particular bookmarklet will detect that you're not on the correct page and take you there. If you click OK, it takes you to the facebook.com/reqs.php page, which is your Facebook's request page, where you have all of your gifts and friend requests and things like that. And that's where this bookmarklet does its magic. Now that it's taken you here, you have to click the bookmarklet again to actually run the script on the page. You should see this area over here show up, which has some configuration options, and down at the bottom is a little bit of an ad section. Some people that were kind enough to send me donations who have also asked for more Facebook friends. So if you could take some time to click on these links here and add these people to your list of friends, I'd appreciate it, and so would they. You can also click down here to see more people. Great people. Anyways, the options for JGrabAllGifts. Max gifts at a time. This, when you first run the script, you should just do one the very first time you run it, just to make sure it works correctly for you. The script launches a pop-up window for every new gift that it accepts, and that's where it accepts the gift, in that pop-up window. If the pop-up window doesn't show up, then you won't get your gift. So if you do 100 and no pop-up windows show up, you're not going to get the 100 gifts. So you want to do one the first time just to make sure it works for you. Seconds between is how long to wait after accepting the first gift before moving on to the next one. You should have this somewhere between 8 and 10. You can make it a little bit lower if you have a really fast connection, but 8 to 10 is good, really. The next area here, apps to accept gifts for, this is where you either type in or copy and paste the application IDs for the games that you play. If you click this button here, Scan Page for Apps I Use, the script will take a look at your requests page and get all those app IDs for you. They're all listed here in this red box. You can either copy and paste the ones you want to accept up into this box, or you can just click Grab All Apps and it will collect them all. Mafia Wars, Roller Coaster, Island Paradise, Cafe, Vampire Wars, Kingdoms, all those different things that people have sent me gifts on. So those are all in the box here. There's an Options button. If you click the Options button, there's a whole bunch more stuff. The top option, Max Pop-Up Windows and Tabs, 5. Leave this alone. This is really just more for more advanced users. If you hover your mouse over these question marks, it'll tell you a little bit about what the options are. If you don't really know what this implies, leave it alone. Leave it at 5. 5 is plenty. That basically means it will be accepting 5 gifts at a time simultaneously. This does not mean it will only accept 5 gifts. This is how many pop-up windows it will maintain. After the 5th gift, when it gets to gift number 6, it'll reuse the first pop-up window that it created. So that's why you want to make sure that your seconds between here is sufficient enough to let those pop-up windows completely load. Now the next option, hide friends request area. If you don't want to worry about your friends right now, you just want to see what's happening with your gifts, if you check this, the friends area disappears. So that's just an option some people had asked for. I'm going to go ahead and do that option for a while when we're doing the tests here. Ignore event requests, ignore group requests, ignore page requests. Everybody knows what event and group and page requests are because we get tons of them. I don't know really anybody who actually goes through and joins all these things because most of them are just junk. There's a few in there that are good, but oh, that one doesn't look too bad. I'm going to have to check that one out. There's quite a few here, and I usually have tons of them. But if you check these boxes, ignore, 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 it'll get rid of all those for you. Ignore Mafia invites. Why would anyone want to ignore Mafia invites? And it explains that here in the question. You don't need to accept Mafia Wars invites from here. When you go into the game, you will see someone has asked you to join their Mafia. Click here to accept. Those are the same exact requests that you see on this requests page. You can ignore them on the request page and still accept them from inside of the game by clicking accept all. It's much easier to do it from inside of the game instead of doing them one at a time here on your request page. So it's easier to just ignore them. This option, it's a brand new option. Basically, it just goes through and clicks confirm on all of your friends. You can also add them to lists. If you use lists to organize your friends, like I do, family and friends, Mafia Wars, if you want to separate people out into what different types of groups they are to make it easier to handle friends, you can also type names of lists in here separated with a bar character. That's shift and the backslash key on your keyboard. The backslash key is not the same key that has the question mark on it. That's the forward slash. The backslash is usually towards the top of your keyboard near the backspace key. So if you hold down shift and then push the backslash key, that gives you that bar character there. So what this will do is this will go through and add all these friends, and it'll put them both in a Mafia Wars list and a list called 2010-01, so that way I can keep track of when I added people. But I'm not going to do that for right now. Just going to ignore the friends for now. Speaking of ignoring friends, this is an option for people who have 5,000 friends, but for one reason or another still have tons of people asking to be their friends, and they don't have their add friend button turned off. This will ignore all friend requests. It'll go through and click ignore on all these friend requests if you check this box. That option does not save between runs. All these other options, they'll still be checked if you use them the next time you use the script. But this one, because it's, you know, kind of dangerous, so somebody checks that on accident, will get rid of a bunch of friend requests. So that's for people who don't want any more friends. Alternate pop-up code tabs in Firefox, mainly for Firefox users. It changes the pop-up code a little bit so the new windows show up as new tabs instead of new windows. Bypass pop-up check, you don't have to worry about that. And skip buttons that contain. If you check this, you can skip any buttons that have certain text on them. Like if I have some GIFs that are, if I can actually get down to some GIFs, I have a ton of stuff here. Like if I don't want to accept any of my, envelope of Tybot or any motion detectors right now, I want to save those all for later for some reason, you can type in motion or detector here and it'll skip all the buttons that have that in them. So once you have all your options set the way you want, you click start. I only have one GIF set at a time, so I'm going to go ahead and do this here. It'll still go through, it ignores the events, ignores the groups, ignores all the pages, and it accepted the first Mafia Wars gift. Accepting an envelope, and it shows you who it's from here. There's a link to the Facebook profile. There's also a link to their Mafia Wars profile, so you can click that and view their profile page or their gifting page if you want to send them a gift back. This link here at the end, gift URL, you'll notice that it says if your pop-up windows don't show up, you can click here to open the gift. Chrome actually does a wonderful job of handling pop-up windows. See this down here in the bottom right corner, it says pop-ups blocked 1, and there's an X. Don't ever click that X. You can click here on the pop-ups blocked, and you'll see a list of windows. You can't see it because it's below my recording area. But if you click on this, you can view all the pop-up windows. And I can even open it up, and you can see here, this is the screen you normally see when you accept a gift. It loads that in the background, but it doesn't show it to you. And I can close this if I want to, if I'm done accepting gifts for right now. So that's it. We accepted one gift. I got my pop-up window, So now that I know it works, and I've got my pop-up, I'm going to reload the page. And I'm going to run the script again. It still hides my friends area because I still have that option set. And I'm going to change max gifts at a time to, let's do 20 just for demonstration purposes. We'll click start. It ignored some Mafia invites. Now it'll start accepting the Mafia Wars gifts. And it shows you here accepting gift, accepting gift. I have pop-ups blocked 2. Now it's on the 3rd one. So it'll go through and accept however many gifts you told it to accept across all the different applications you use. If you want to stop it for any reason, you can click this red X here, and it'll finish the one it's working on, and then I'm going to go ahead and stop it. It'll finish the one it's working on and give you a summary. JGrabAllGifts done. 4 gifts grabbed. Now when it's all done, you've got your pop-up windows down here, pop-ups blocked, and you can click this link here, click here to close pop-ups. Be sure they're done loading first. If you click on this, if you use Chrome anyway, you can see that they say Mafia Wars on Facebook. When a gift window first loads, it'll be a big, long URL name here, and you'll see that means it's still loading, but these are all done loading probably. So I'm going to go ahead and click this to close pop-ups, and that disappears. Do not click that X down there again. That tells Google Chrome that you don't want pop-ups, and so it won't load the pop-ups, which means you won't get your gifts. So that's not what you want to do. So that is JGrabAllGifts. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. My profile from my home page here, down at the bottom, there's a link to my profile, and there's a link on my profile to send me a message. Feel free to send me a message. Tell all your friends. I can't believe not everyone is using this script yet. It saves so much time, it's insane. So anyways, hope you like it. Message me. I'll talk to you later.